Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our final segment of the evening. This is none other than The Tea. I love it.
I love it too.
Love it, love it, love it. And it is hot tonight. So before we go into that, I want to let you know that you can find us on Facebook at Sheer Chat with Rashawn. You can find us on YouTube at Sheer Chat with Rashawn also. So those two places you can always log on and see our past shows. You can watch the lives. You can see everything on there. So you have two places to watch our catalog shows. Let's go right in because these are good.
They are good.
So let's start with, first, let's do the Starbucks. So because that is the hot topic right now.
It is.
You know, so for those who don't know, recently, two gentlemen who are of African-American descent.
Black people.
Yeah. They were in a Starbucks in Philadelphia, and now they said they were sitting there waiting for a friend. And now, see, this is the problem I have, because it's always like several stories that go out. And so I'm starting to notice this as I read things, how there are different stories that go out. So the first story said that the gentleman, they were just sitting there waiting for a friend. And they waited, and then the manager asked that they leave because they were just sitting there. They weren't purchasing
They didn't make
anything.
any purchases.
Another story that I read said that they were sitting there and they asked to use the restroom. And so she said, you have to purchase something to use the restroom. They continued to sit, and then she asked them to be removed.
Yes.
So needless to say, when they did not leave, because, you know, Starbucks is a cafe. You can go and sit and, you know, work on your computer. You can do whatever you want in
That's
there.
what I heard.
Excuse me, as long as you're not hurting anybody else.
That's what I heard.
She done called the cops, people.
Word
She
on
called the
street.
cops and the cops. She called the police. and the police came. And so the thing that I thought was interesting when I watched the video, how, you know, they seemed to address the gentleman, you know, kind of respectfully, and were asking him to leave. And he seemed to be respectfully declining that he wasn't doing anything wrong, you know, what have you. And then so, needless to say, they did handcuff them and escort them out. The one thing that I did like was there was no major commotion. There was no kicking, turning over tables and all that kind of stuff. Because as I looked at the guys, I said, it looked like they can stir up something.
As we can.
But, yeah, you know. But I was very glad that they had enough sense to calmly allow the police to handcuff them.
It served a purpose.
Exactly. And for them to be removed because it showed that they were not a threat. It further reinforced the point that they were not a threat because they weren't doing anything before, and now we're still not doing anything, and you've arrested us, and we're still not doing anything.
Which shows, too, that all protests don't have to be aggressive and violent.
Yes.
So
tell me, what do you think about that? Like, what's your thoughts on them being removed?
I like the fact, like you said, that they remain calm. I appreciated the fact that someone recorded what was going on in that moment, because it has also given our young people an example to follow. It gives exposure and it sheds additional light on the reoccurring racism or racist theme that is going on right now. However, I don't believe that Starbucks as a whole should be held responsible for the ignorance of that employee.
True.
I think that the spotlight should be shown upon that employee, that manager, and the fact that the CEO came out within 48 hours and he rendered an authentic apology. He addressed it. He said it was wrong. We were wrong, and we're going to handle this. And he's going to personally meet with those young men. I don't believe that is a reflection on Starbucks as a whole. I don't believe the ignorance of this one person in this one particular location is representative of all Starbucks. Yes, the company as a whole.
And when things go wrong, how often does the CEO meet with whomever the issue was with, you know? And so I said, to me, that spoke volumes. Usually there's a representative.
That's
you have
what caught my
somebody from
attention,
your marketing department, or, you know,
the attorney.
Exactly. You have all these people that could possibly talk to the people to try to smooth things over. But he said he wanted to be responsible, that he took on that responsibility to meet with them, to make sure that things are right moving forward.
Absolutely.
Now, did you hear about the young gentleman who applied to the 20 universities?
I did.
Okay, and then how the news reporter...
I did.
That. So what was your take on that whole incident?
Initially, because the news reporter who said it was right up the street, so it was broadcast it was a little bit more amplified because it was in our backyard. It was unnecessary.
Okay, so before you go on, let me just say, so the incident itself was a young African-American man had applied to 20 different universities. He had been accepted to all 20 with full scholarships. And a newscaster made a negative comment about him doing so. And so we were saying, you know, did she have the right, you know, was it really that serious for her to make those comments? What was the reason behind her doing that? And, you know, what was she hoping to accomplish?
Well, I think, again, 21st century, everyone is out here without a cause. Even the news. How do you report on someone being raped, robbed, malicious murders, and then moving on to the weather? Our news is unrealistic. These people are detached, they are emotionless, and they're not thinking rationally, and I think they are encouraged to say things for ratings.
Okay.
I think our newscasters don't really report the news, the important news. They are encouraged to become entertainers. Therefore, I think those absent-minded thoughts is a result of, I think, their executive producers encouraging them to say stupid things on a regular basis, or to be witty. And, you know, I've seen there's a certain channel that I won't say, but they pause in the middle of segments and give their input, and it always has to have a punchline. Sweetheart, this is news.
Okay, this is not Comedy Hour.
Right, this is not Def Comedy Jam. Like, I am distraught over the stuff you just said. Like, I'm literally looking at the Amtrak crash like, oh my God. And here they are talking about, and girl, how do you segue? Like, who's in charge of this?
Who is driving this train?
Like, Amtrak is already off the track, so here comes Fox 5. So it's like, no. I think they're in a position where they become mindless. And that woman, and I don't know the circumstances, and I'll say this. College-educated people, most college-educated people, understand the application process. And
say it.
To apply and pay, Hallelujah, for 3 schools is enough.
That's what I was saying.
And initially I was like, that was a little obsessive. I said, 20? What kind of time does he have on his hands? However, if he is of the scholarly status that I learned him to be, he probably didn't pay for those application fees. He had a perfect SAT score, pretty much, and he probably had help. So he probably got a couple of 2-for-1 deals in terms of this essay kind of corresponded with this one, and maybe he didn't put as much energy into all 20. Then I saw the video of the young man, and to be honest, his academic history is probably that he's in the books all the time, and if that was his goal, if that's what he wanted to do. My 6th grade teacher, Dr. Sandra Williams, always told me, honey, shoot for the moon.
Right.
Because if you fall, at least you'll land amongst the stars.
That's right.
And I think Homeboy was shooting for a different kind of moon, but it was a moon nonetheless.
But you know what? That was my point, because I was sharing with my 2 friends. I said, when you apply for schools, you have no idea, regardless of how good your grades are, you have no idea if that school is going to choose to accept you, because not all schools, well, they look at the academics, but then they also have different other criteria that they have to meet.
Yes.
So, I may, as a Harvard, I may accept, a certain amount of students who have, SAT scores that are in the 95%, but now I have to meet my minority demographic.
Yes.
I have all these other things that I have to meet. So I said to myself, could he have been doing it saying, I'm going to apply to Harvard, but if I don't get Harvard, I want
plan
Yale.
B, plan C.
If I don't get Yale, I want this one. And that's what I said to me. That's how I rationalized it. And I said, I wasn't even thinking about, what you said about the additional assistance in applying for the schools. But if you take the time, because I know for me,
Child, my top 3, that was enough. I was wore out after the first one.
I do not want to do this anymore.
And I have a niece applying for schools, and her mom said, girl, you better pick your 3. That's all I'm paying for. But also, like I said, with his grades, with his academic history and things like that, he probably had his application fees waived, and that changes the game
altogether.
So when money is not a factor or an issue, then I would say applaud the young man, because he could have been spending his evenings doing something else reckless or careless, if he's anything like some of the grown men I know, playing video games all night long. But he spent his time applying for schools.
But then, as you were just talking, I thought about this.
Did you have a revelation?
I did. I said, and this could be because, I could be being a little racially sensitive. However, because I see that as something that should be applauded.
That's what I just said.
Not even just that he, applied to the 20 schools, but you applied and you got full scholarship. To me, that is something that I would be plastering that young man. Sir, you need to come and sit in this chair one weekend so we can talk about this? That's something that should be applauded.
Absolutely.
That's a major feat.
Absolutely.
So not just that he applied to the schools, but he applied and got in. And got full financial scholarship. So to me, that was just, at it. Let's move on. Since we're talking about colleges, we're going to talk about the HBCU. But
the University of Beyonce?
Yes. To bring in that, we are going to speak on Beyonce's appearance at Coachella this weekend, which I heard was absolutely hot. I saw a couple of videos, and it was kind of good. She gave me a little fever that I liked.
She did it. She did it.
She gave me. I'll say she gave me what I like to see. I like that grandiose. If you're going to put on a show, you need to put on a show.
Do it.
And she did just that.
Did it.
I mean, she hit the top and then still took it a little bit above.
Yeah.
The one thing that I liked was that she incorporated all the facets that we see in a traditional HBCU at that event. And then as I read many articles, they were talking about how would the people respond to it, because the demographic is not largely African American.
So her performance was unapologetically Black, but at the same time, I was just a different world all over the place. I mean, they were stepping. That's what I was raised watching, God bless his soul, The Cosby Show. But immediately afterwards, a different world. So I was like, oh my goodness, that, the Qs, the Kappas, the step. Remember when Ron Johnson was stepping and everybody was a part of a frat or a sorority on a different world. It took my mind back there. And at this point in time, like I said, Black culture is really coming to the forefront. And the thing is this, and so many people are going to disagree, but it's okay. It's okay to share. We can share the culture.
The culture. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is ours. It's like your child and a car.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can give you the keys, but you know it's mine.
Right.
Take care of it when you're out. You know, do not wreck my car. Return my and give it back when I when I tell you when I ask for it. But that's how it is with our culture. We can share it because, believe it or not, I have quite a few Caucasian clients that attend HBCUs.
Absolutely.
And they love the experience, the information and education that is taught at HBCUs has been overlooked and undervalued for so long that when they come in and they see it, they're like, whoa.
Wow. They are blown.
They are blown away.
Because that was one of the things that I raised last evening, and I said, you know, to me, the education of culture starts within the home. You can't leave that up to anybody else to teach.
Absolutely.
And so the conversation started with, you know, our HBCUs as relevant as they were when they were started. Is the need for them to be there the same as when it started?
I would say it shouldn't.
Okay.
It shouldn't be because if they taught true American history the way they are supposed to from grammar school on up, the necessity of it would not be so great. But because they don't,
Right.
and they acting like they won't,
Right.
then the necessity is it's there.
So what I'm saying is that, you know, in sharing culture, like I love the whole thing with the Black Panther movie. You know, I was getting tired of watching people. Yes, I was getting tired of you folks seeing you on Facebook with all of your African garb and things. But the one thing that kept coming to me was I could appreciate the fact that there was yet another moment for us to come together to celebrate heritage and culture. And that's what I kept finding myself in that thought as I saw the things. And I was like, okay, you bought this out. This is your Black History outfit. You done bought out. You done dusted it off and put it on to go to the movies and all that. But again, it just kept saying to me, it's yet another opportunity for us to come together to celebrate, you know, the culture and the history and heritage that we have.
So that was cute.
Child, y'all about to experience the real Shanae. Come on with it.
So again, it is important to have some type of reality check in the things that we say. Yeah, I was sickened to my stomach. The roses, the rose petals being thrown as, you know, they were walking. That was a bit much. Because, and I'll say this, all of y'all ain't queens. No. Some of us still have some work to be done. Okay?
See what I'm saying?
And yeah, it was a moment to appreciate Black culture and things like, but it goes back to the HBCU thing though, where HBCUs, as they're necessary, they're vital, but where we fall short is the entertainment piece of it and the need to be seen. When you go to a HBCU, education is oftentimes not the priority. That girls will not go to class if that weave is not done. If the Gucci is not fitting. That's not why you are there, sweetheart. So we have to kind of take a step back and check our priorities and the education. I mean, again, it's sad when other people can appreciate the things that, or the contributions that our ancestors, I can't even say it's our ancestors, because we have been gifted with these things. We have not earned them, sweetheart. We have been gifted with the heritage that we have. So when other people respect it and they check it out and everything, all of it, I think it should all be included, and everyone should not be pushed away, because it's important to understand this is all of our history.
So I have another question that I wanted to ask you in terms of the whole, or I wouldn't say there's this new thing that I read in terms of Beyonce. And apparently, or I should say allegedly, she put out a statement that she didn't want any of her fans, followers, what have you, to post any pictures from Coachella this weekend because she wasn't sure of how they would look. So she was trying to rid the possibility of any unflattering photos being published. What do you think about that?
I wholeheartedly agree. Because in true light-skinned girl fashion, what you're not going to do is have me out here looking crazy. I believe that that is responsible branding.
Okay.
Because if you look on her Instagram, Homegirl has posted enough pictures for you to have a field day. Now, she didn't say that people couldn't have their personal photos.
Well, she said, please do not.
But what you want, don't share them with the world.
So if I'm at Coachella and I'm in the third row,
you better hold that memory in your heart.
I saw you doing your thing, and I take my camera and take a picture. Why I can't post that on my Facebook?
Because number one, also think about branding. She's a businesswoman. It's multifaceted. Number one, it takes away the value of the people that actually bought a ticket to be there.
Okay.
So if you weren't there, there's some things like a true lady you have to hold sacred. Amen.
Okay.
Number two, there have been several pictures of Beyonce in the past, say where her facial expression, even though she was being passionate in her dance moves, a still shot, it was like, oh, that's not that's not the queen.
Right.
Or also, remember the picture where she kind of went down and it had a picture, it caught the still of her.
Oh, no, I
her
didn't
lady,
see that.
yes, and the print was there.
Oh, no,
you remember
I
that
didn't
one?
see that.
Yes. So, yes, honey, take control of your brand and allow the world to see what you want them to see.
When you put it like that, yes. But I looked at it more so as, if I'm a consumer, and I purchased this ticket, and I heard the tickets were fairly pricey.
As always.
Okay.
That's not our event.
Yeah, so, and I'm in the third row, fifth row, 10th row, and I'm that close. Part of me taking that picture is showing you, baby, I'm up close.
Well,
personal.
What you should have done was establish enough integrity in your community before you got there that they will believe you. But that's all you have is your word at this point.
Oh my God!
You can post your picture of Cardi B. It won't be the Queen Bee, okay?
She said absolutely not.
No.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because I thought about it as you were speaking, in terms of the showmanship, bringing it back to Coachella, because that is a large part. I look at that as a large part of our history and our culture is the showmanship, because we look at how important dance was in the African culture, how important song was, prior to us even thinking about coming here, or because we didn't think about coming here, we were brought here. However,
just woke up and
I woke up
landed on.
But how important it was then. So then I look at the translation of all the dance and the music and the song, with, say, even just that performance. And when you go to the HBCUs, how much you see of the song, the dance, the stepping, all of that showmanship, that is a rich part of our history.
It's in our blood. Some of us have a terrible case of the can't help it. It's just what we do. But for those onlookers, that are like, what's going on? This is my opinion. I don't believe that's the time to say, no, this is mine, you can't have it. I think that's the opportunity to educate, to share. Don't try to steal it like y'all always do. You can't have it. I'm just going to show you. But educate and share what it's about so they too we have to teach them to respect us.
Absolutely.
Respect is absolutely something that is taught. But it can't be done in arrogance, like, no, you can't have it, no, you can't have it.
Catch that.
It's mine.
Okay.
Like, share. So we have to embrace the fact that everyone is not against us. And we have to recognize those that are and treat them accordingly. But for the ones who are with us in the struggle, we have to love on them accordingly.
And I was going to say in the same thing. Those who are, know who they are and treat them accordingly.
You treat them accordingly. So you level me,
I'm gonna level you back. All right.
Try to steal my dashiki, we're going to treat you accordingly.
I can't take it. This has been another exciting evening of Sheer Chat. Lord have mercy. Shanae, please tell us how we can get in touch with you if someone wanted to book an appointment or they just wanted to come have a good old laugh with you.
And they will. I'm located in Twin Towers at the intersection of Georgia Avenue and Colesville Road. First floor of the apartment building, and people come down just to chat with me all the time. I've been told I'm a good hairstylist.
Okay.
If you want to book online, my website is www.indulgebgl.com, Indulge Beauty and Grooming Lounge. I am on Instagram at Shanae Indulges. And what else? I have a Facebook page. You can find me at Indulge Beauty and Grooming Lounge, or DM me. Phone number 301-844-5464. So the salon, if you're trying to make an appointment.
Yeah.
So
don't be calling for no other reason.
don't be calling me. Don't be calling me.
So again, this has been Sheer Chat with Rashawn. This is the tea, our most exciting segment of the evening, in my opinion. I love this part. You can find us on Facebook at Sheer Chat. Is our Facebook page. You can also find the catalog of shows, as well as this show will be there soon on our YouTube page, which is Sheer Chat with Rashawn Broadneck. So this has been, again, another exciting evening. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem, and we will definitely have you back again.
Of course.
Definitely.
I wear my dashiki next time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a great evening, and thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful night.